welcome to another episode of Senshi Cosplay Myths Podcast. I'm Rebecca, and this is Deborah, my co-host. Welcome!
Hey, y'all.
Hello! So, you've probably seen on our social media sites, we've been asking people to tell us stories about cosplaying. We did get a handful of stories, so we're gonna share them. And these are stories about people who have done cosplay, and they're good stories, they're funny stories. I mean, if you've watched this series at all, you will have seen that there have been stories told here about people cosplaying and like the things that have happened to them while they were wearing cosplay. So, as you know, cosplaying is like any life story. It can be funny, it can be horrifying, it can be you look at it afterwards and went, why? Yep.
I guess
All
should we
right.
go ahead and get started with the first story then?
Yes.
So I get the great
Story number
pleasure
one.
to start out. Many of y'all probably know him. This is actually his name is Carson. For those who go to SenshiCon up here, a lot of them know him. He has been not just SenshiCon volunteer, but he's been staff, and he does a lot of stuff around the cosplay community. So I'm sure you've probably seen him around at some point, one way or the other. Complete sweetheart. So he has been gracious enough to give us a story. And this was at Colossal Con 2018. Him and a couple of his friends go to Colossal Con. He explains that if you've ever been to Colossal Con, it is definitely more of like a summer water park kind of themed place. It's definitely much more of a social con than it is, say, like Senshi Con. So it's definitely been one of the largest conventions he's been to. It's very different. And his friend and him wanted to go to, they had a Nerf gun fight event. They went and discovered it was Overwatch themed. So the terrain was they figured out was made out of cardboard, and the event coordinators did the best what they could with what they had. But they did also have Overwatch themed guns and weapons. They had a foam sword for Genji, foam balls for Zenata, and then Mercy. They didn't have a gun for her, for those who played her, but they could go around and tag people back in. They just didn't have a gun. And then Reinhardt had a shield. So that's cool in itself, gun and shield. Like, you're still gonna get shot in the leg probably, but you have to have good aim.
If you scrunch down far enough, I mean, think of Captain America in the movie when that actor he was really tall. He managed to go crunch.
Yep.
And the shield covered him. So I mean, it's like if you can figure out how to just like scrunch down and shuffle forward, it covers everything.
To an extent. Just, not your bum. So you get the right angle. You get shot there. It's happened. We all know it's happened.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's enough stories.
Yeah. So as everyone knows, especially during 2018, Overwatch was a huge thing. It still is to this day, but then that was, I forgot, like I forgot what skin had come out during 2018, and it just it blew up pretty much. Like, there was a lot of hype for it. So 2018 was like prime time for Overwatch. And as such, because of this, it drew a lot of people. They ended up waiting over an hour for their play and ended up being the last, what was it? The last round that they got scheduled to play. The teams, they made them about 10 to 12 people, give or take, just because there were so many people. Well, so him and his friend, of course, obviously ended up on the same team. And as they were waiting around, they actually noticed that there was a remote control car that someone on each side could control. So it depends on who got to the remote control car first. This was supposed to be what was called a payload. I'm not familiar with Overwatch, so I don't know what that is, unfortunately. But I know if you think of like Call of Duty and other games like that, I'm assuming it's, I don't know, supplies or something. I'm not too sure.
It's something good. I know video games well enough to be like, I'm a Pokemon! And
Yep.
that's kind of the extent of my
Yeah, no,
video
same.
game
Like,
knowledge.
I used to play Call of Duty like hardcore back when I was younger, and before it became more of like a toxic thing to do. I miss those days. But yeah, no, payload, I'm assuming it's something super important for the Overwatch community. So it was definitely coveted. So they got to see that, which was really fun. So his friend actually brought his own gun because that was allowed. But Carson himself didn't bring a gun. He kind of thought there would be enough guns to go around, but there wasn't, sadly. So he decided to take the foam balls because why not?
Yep.
Also, checking foam balls, like that's fun.
Yes.
Okay, so at some point, they had noticed that there was only one foam sword, which was supposed to represent Genji, and a lot of people really wanted it. So the event coordinators went over to their team and asked if the opposite team could use the flagpole as a sword. Now, if the pole was made out of foam, that wouldn't have been a big problem. However, the flagpole was a bamboo rod. Yeah. So they did say that they were going to make rules that they could only tap people with it. They could not do like full strikes or things like that. They could only tap. Well, the Carson and his friend end up pointing out, being like, in the heat of the moment, what's going to stop them from just whacking people? Like, you could, you get overly excited and you're gonna smack people because you're not
And
paying attention.
bamboo stick is whippy, so it
Yep, and
so
one wrong hit can cause damage, or
yeah.
a smack to the head. You're gonna give someone a concussion or something. So they had pointed this out to the coordinators, and yeah, apparently there was a lot of back and forth throughout this conversation because the coordinators were adamant about allowing the other team to use the flagpole, but they were just like, it wasn't just them that spoke up. Thankfully, it was the other teammates who were just like, nah, that's gonna go wrong very quickly, and thus thankfully the coordinators took their answer and didn't bring it into the into the event. So all was well. So yeah, that's the end of that particular one. But there is a continuation of what happened at ColossalCon earlier that day, actually. So he was waiting around over near some of the outside pools because he wanted to go out and have a swim.
You're at a swim pool. You should swim.
Yeah, exactly. And ColossalCon is known for like their outdoor pools. It's a great place to actually go do a lot of photo shoots. There's a lot of swimsuit photo shoots going on. So because of that, unfortunately, the time he wanted to go out, there was a lot of people out there taking photos, and the pool was just too crowded for him to go out and swim. So he ended up going and camping out on the sun chairs, and he actually had a sign. He wrote out on a cardboard sign saying "free massages." And anyone who knows Carson knows that he's really good at massages. Of course, he's not in Alaska, so no one knows him. On top of that, he's walking around in shorts and a scuba mask. So you can't see his face. You don't know who this guy is. So yeah, he goes, camps out, puts free massages, and just kind of waits around. He actually had I don't remember what kind of lotion he said he had, but he had a lotion essentially. And a couple people actually did come up to him and was just like, "Hey, is this a legit thing?" And he nodded. He didn't say a single word the entire time. He only like pointed to things and like hand gestures and all other stuff, but didn't say anything. So he actually did. He got quite a few massages in, and actually had a couple people who came back for seconds. But there was one person he did point out that he was really glad he was wearing a mask. And how to go about this? Because I'm trying to keep this PG.
It was
If
good
you
that
ever,
the mask was covering his face so that his expression was hidden.
yeah, let's just say that this particular person he was giving a massage to was being very vocal, very loud. And I don't want to say too much because I'm trying to keep this like PG, but you kind of get where I'm going with this. Please tell me you get where I'm going with this, Rebecca.
Yes, they were highly enjoying the massage and were very vocal about the enjoyment in a way that was not PG-13.
It was to the point of people started looking. Oh, hello, cat. Started looking at them, and so he tried to like rush the massage. And just kind of he's just like, okay, let's just get this over with, quickly and whatnot. And yeah, that was that's his horror story of the con. He did say it was a learning experience.
Do not give free massages at a con with people you don't know.
Yeah, he did get to learn like how to massage like around like people's cosplays and like work around body paint. And it's like a chance to meet other people too. And some people did tip him actually, so he did make a little bit of money, which was cool. Plus,
But
he
yeah,
loves giving massages, and he's really good at them too. So
I just, it probably was very nice to get a massage for some people because some of those cosplays, you're wearing like how much weight, and you're just like,
oh yeah.
I just need something relief, help.
Oh yeah, the number of times like after like the end of a long con day, my shoulders will swell a lot. And I already have very tender shoulders, and I also have spinal damage, so it can actually cause the swelling can cause irritation and other things. And it's not a fun time. So having someone who's good at massages at the con, oh yeah.
Yep. Maybe we should talk one year and get actual massage people at the con. See what happens.
I wasn't. Oh geez, wasn't it like Arctic Comic Con that had like some masseuses? There was one event going on downtown that was pretty big that we went to that had masseuses, and I was really tempted.
Maybe my brain is just blanking it out.
I think it was the first year Comic Con or Arctic Comic Con. I
Possibly.
think. I think. All I know is like I was really like this guy was trying to convince me to do the masseuse thing, and like I was explaining to him because I think that was like only like a year after my accident where I got the spinal damage. So I was like, I can't have I'm not too sure like what your profession is and like how good you are with very tender patients. And he was just like, oh, I can take like he was like very insistent. He's like, please just give it a try. He was also really bored and we were already talking prior, so I was like, okay, I will give you a try, but I'm like, please, for the love of God, be gentle. So glad I did that. It was amazing and just made the rest of the con day so much better.
Seuss will know the muscles and will be able to work around anything because that's basically what they're trained to do is to find the problems and help alleviate them.
Yeah. Well, a properly trained one for sure.
Oh yeah.
I know there's a couple of shops like around town that I can't go to because they look at like knots and whatnot, and so they believe they need to press and like really dig deep. They do the
Yeah.
deep tissue stuff. And while
Yep.
that works for a lot of people, there are people like me, and I even know a couple others where if you do that, our muscles will tense and actually make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, oh,
I,
it's not
I
a fun time.
Yeah, I had someone practice massaging on me, and it was one of those really press hard. And I just remember for days afterwards, it felt like there were bruises where they had like pressed in. And it's like there were no bruises, it just was very, very tender. It was
Yeah,
new.
yeah. My um, one of my church ladies, bless her. I understand she wanted to help with my back and whatnot, but she did the deep tissue thing, and oh, we had to ice my back for like a couple days, and there was bruises.
Yeah.
I bruised, but she was also a volleyball mom, so I understand why she did it. Because that's what she did with her kids, because that's the only way to get the knots out.
Mm-hmm.
It was good intentions, but oh,
Yeah.
ow.
Yes. Oh. Sorry. Excuse me. Something got the frog in the throat.
The frog in the throat? What?
It's something that it's a saying that it means you've got something stuck in your throat, so you need to give a quick cough to try and loosen it.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Huh. And it's one that I've heard for years.
Nope. Ironically enough, nope.
Huh. Well, live and learn.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's. But going back to Carson's first story, I can understand where all of that was coming from, because it's like, we want this to be the best experience ever. We don't have enough weapons. We have this. This could be really, really great. And then it's like, oh wait, no, this could be really, really bad.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate reality with being like event coordinators. Especially like if it's something you're not super familiar with. A lot of things like people don't understand as being an event coordinator, you have to kind of go by the fly pretty much. And there are some decisions that yes, like it doesn't quite make sense, but but if it works in the long run, it works. But in that instance with the bamboo pole, they really didn't think that through, on top of the fact that they didn't take into account like how discomforted when they were asking if it was okay. That they didn't take into account like, hey, these people are very adamant, like they're not comfortable with this, and they didn't take the first answer as no. Instead, they kept insisting to allow it just because it would appease the others. Like I get that, because I understand that to a certain extent. But when you have more than one person being like not comfortable, then that's why then as an event coordinator be like, okay, we can go explain this to your team.
Yeah.
And then it's on your team. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and the other thing is especially at the end of the day, you're almost done. It's the last group, and you're just. It was a bad decision they were making, and luckily they finally listened. But I can understand where both sides were coming from, because it's like, I can totally foresee something like this happening at SenshiCon if we ever did something similar.
Yeah. I just hope that as more experienced, some of us are, we know not to bring in bamboo poles into a high stress situation.
Yeah. Because, I mean, just even thinking about that, it's like, ooh, wait a minute.
I've been hit with things made out of bamboo. It hurts. Oh my gosh. That was actually something my mother used to get. That's what she used to use to spank us with, because we would hide or the other spoons would break very easily. So she got like bamboo spoons. Yeah, those suckers hurt. I've accidentally smacked my hand with them, like, because I own a pair myself now, and I've smacked myself with them by accident because I'm clumsy. And yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
And that's a spoon. Imagine a pole.
No. All right, so let's move on to the next story. And the next story comes from, from Lauren?
Lauren,
right?
yeah.
So the next story is from Lauren, who is another volunteer slash has been also a staff member of SenshiCon. A lot of you may know him. He's been in and a part of and a staff member of the Cosplay Chest and Cosplay Duel for many, many years.
He's also, a lot of y'all will remember him by I think he goes by Nappa online. Which is funny because in this story you'll actually get to find out how he got into cosplay and what brought about becoming Nappa and how he got that nickname.
Yep.
And
Doesn't
I
he
personally
cosplay Nappa a lot?
He does. He still uses that cosplay a lot to this day. So I'm really excited that he shared this story with us. Because it's like it's not just like on like how he got into cosplay; it's how this affected his life afterwards and to this day. So it's definitely really cute.
Yes. So this story happened at SenshiCon 2015. It was Lauren's second year ever at being at SenshiCon. So this is great. It's like, oh, second time I'm going, I need to cosplay. So he and a bunch of friends were planning things for the cosplay chess, which the theme that year was Phone Guy versus Galdos from Portal.
GLaDOS.
GLaDOS.
I do not know how to spell her name.
Oh, is that the voice that's always offering the cake?
Yeah.
And threatening to kill you?
Yeah.
Oh, that voice. Okay. So, I don't know who Phone Guy is, but okay.
I'm not too sure either.
But either way, scary lady offering cake. Oh dear. So, okay, so they already had some things ready, and they were going to have Golden Freddy, Golden Freddy. And there was interacting with some of the chess pieces. Also, all he had was, or so the problem is all he had was the Freddy head, which was made by another cosplay, your friend, and a bodysuit that was made of foam and a skin tight suit. None of it was right. This is going to be a story about cosplays done at the very, very last bloody second.
This is a perfect example.
Yes, no, remember when we talked about don't leave your cosplays till the last second? Well, if you do, it leads to very interesting stories of how cosplays either came or did not come to be. This is one where I guess it ends in it coming to be.
You just read
I'll just read the story. So I'm also hearing this story somewhat for the first time. So okay, so then none of it was ready. And there were, of course, several problems with the suit. And there just wasn't enough time to work on the suit. So, day 0 of the con. Of course it's they spent their time spray painting the suit as they needed it to be done and ready for tomorrow. Or at least tried to spray it, but turns out they had the wrong color. So, they went to go find the right color. They found it, but the can they had was empty. So, a friend ran to the store to find the right color. I keep saying cover. Color.
It's okay, it's late.
But they were out. Oh, by the way, people, in case anyone is wondering, this is a pre-recorded episode, so if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below, and we will get to them later. But back to the story. So, they had a can, it was empty, so a friend ran to the store to find the right can. Turns out the store was sold out. This is going good, eh? Yep, sounds about right. Very right. This is going exactly the way it should. Okay, so they were going to go to a 24-hour Walmart to find some, and they decided since they were there, they were also going to get some drinks to decompress because, at this point, they're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're not done. Now, that was probably not Lauren. Lauren is, if anybody knows Lauren, I've never heard Lauren yell, really. Does Lauren yell?
Yell once or twice, but he always apologizes after. And it's usually not directed at one specific person. It's usually just like,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to say it. It's an accident, pretty much. He doesn't mean to yell usually, but
But yeah, so they got some drinks to decompress. They also had to worry about so the other problem is on top of this, they were volunteers at the con and they had to be on time. So they were on a time crunch, which, considering it was day 0 of the con, they had to be on time to this, and they had to spray paint this and let it dry. Time crunches are a thing. Okay.
Yep. Paint.
So
Especially.
they got the spray paint, and then they had the problem of about where to spray paint it. So they had to and it's, if you are not at your house, or even if you are at your house, you have to figure out, where am I going to spray paint this item so I don't get spray paint everywhere or breathe it in. Which, I can tell you right now, it's very disconcerting to blow your nose after you've spray painted and have little flakes of paint come out of your nose.
Oh, yeah.
Word of the wise, wear a mask, be in a well-ventilated place. Very well ventilated.
Yeah. Don't do it in your bedrooms, guys.
No. So they knew they could not spray in the hotel room or on the balcony, and the pier wouldn't let them either? Were they downtown when this happened?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, the pier wouldn't let them, because I bet you they didn't want to get spray paint anywhere on anything.
Yeah. Concerned about, the wood or even just in the area.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it in the hotel room. I mean, clearly you can't do it in the hotel room.
Or on the balcony of the hotel room.
Yep. They wouldn't even let them do it in the back alley. None of it.
Yeah. So they ended up having to do it in their car, which, kudos for them for finding an enclosed space. However, you are spray painting something inside your car. Okay.
Sacrifice. If
the
you're gonna sacrifice,
sacrifices of cosplay.
we've all done it. I can't judge him. I've done the same. Well, I haven't spray painted in my car, granted, but
I want to know, how much spray paint got all over his car.
I should have asked that. I completely forgot to ask.
Oh, by the way, Casey, who is our wonderful IT guy who sets all of this up, has informed us that Phone Guy is from Five Nights at Freddy's. So, for those of you who have played or know Five Nights at Freddy's, he's a character from that. I didn't know Five Nights at Freddy was that old. Okay, but back to spray painting in the car. Apparently, it took them about 2 hours to spray paint the whole thing, which, if anyone has used spray paint, you know that is true. You first got to spray paint one layer, then another, then another. It's kind of like painting coats. Depending on how good you are at spray painting, it could take a while. You also have to wait to let the coats dry, because if not, you get crackling. Which, actually, if you're going for it, it looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like psychedelic lightning. Yep.
What?
Yeah, no, so if you're spray painting something and you don't wait for the previous layers to dry, the next layers that go on will crackle and kind of...
Whoa.
Yeah, so it looks very cool if you've got different colors on top of them. So if, you have a white primer and then you spray paint it with color, the white will kind of seep through the lightning bits. At least that's what happened to me. I was spray painting a model rocket, because I'm in a rocketry club. And so it ended up looking really cool, but it was not exactly what I had in mind. But still cool.
Okay. I've only spray painted, I think, twice. Usually I hand paint. So I don't. I wouldn't know.
Yep. Okay. After they spray painted, they then had to get the suit back into the hotel room as they had to take a blow dryer here to dry it, which makes sense. They were on a time crunch; they couldn't let it air dry.
Yep.
Somehow they managed. Well, after the fun they had trying to find the right color and then trying to find a place to spray paint it, something had to go easy.
Yeah, he did specify specifically. He doesn't remember how they got it back with not too much problems. But they're just like they were completely surprised that they didn't bump into anybody. Nobody bumped into them. They got it in without getting paint anywhere. I was just like, dang.
Dang, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And then but the pressure was on because they were the main character. So they put the suit on and ran to the con as they had about 30 minutes left. Dang.
Yep. They had 30 minutes to put that suit on and get to the convention center.
Power to them. I would not have been. We would have been late. There would have been lateness. But they got there. They did it. They got to the con. They did their part, and then didn't wear it again until Halloween. Which, after all of the fun and excitement of what they did, yes, they really did need to make sure that they got there on time.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
I realized I never sent you the second part of the second. This was supposed to be the first story. This is he got into cosplay. The one you just read was his, I think, second ever cosplay of some sort.
But yeah, that was Lauren's.
Yeah, so both of these are Lauren's.
Yeah.
So
I still there's one question I have from that story. What was he cosplaying as?
Oh, did I not put it in the notes? It was Golden Freddy.
Golden who?
Golden Freddy. So Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's, the Golden.
I don't know Five Nights at Freddy's, but so this entire story was all about how they were spray painting the costume for Golden Freddy so that he could do the thing.
Yep.
Still, I just trying to do I know last minute things involve sewing, but it never occurred to me that last minute things could be finding a place to spray paint your cosplay and not fumigate yourself.
Yeah. That's been a challenge at our current place because we don't have an area to spray paint. Thankfully, since COVID hit, we don't have to worry about spray painting anything right now because we don't really want to work on cosplay during the pandemic. But yeah, finding a place, it's fun, especially if you don't have a garage. Those of you who have a garage, you're spoiled. You're lucky.
Yeah. Especially if you have a heated garage, which means you could do spray painting in the winter.
Yes.
Because with spray paint, you have to keep it warm. At least at a constant temperature. Because I do know, spray paint can freeze.
It can, yeah. So it needs to be at least, generally, room temperature. So about 60 degrees is roughly you want it at. Anything colder than that, and it's not going to dry. Because we did do it when it was still a bit chilly. We left our stuff outside, and it did not dry. I think it was 40 something degrees, which isn't too bad, but it's still starting to get pretty cold.
Yeah, and at least it's too cold for spray paint. But yeah, I love that story because it's of all the things, it's last minute spray painting. Did they get any sleep that night?
I don't know. I think he got very minimum sleep because he did say they went to a drinking event specifically that was going on that SenshiCon was holding actually.
In the wild west days of SenshiCon.
Yep. I think that year I was stuck guarding a door, so I couldn't join. Yeah, that was the year. I think I wore heels all day and I forgot to bring my flats. And so I ended up, I was wearing my kigu in front of a door and I took my shoes off because my feet started bleeding.
Oh no.
And someone,
No.
I forgot who was offering to give me a piggyback ride back to my room because I couldn't wear my shoes.
Well, and in 2015, that would have been at the Egan Center?
See?
Maybe?
Oh, wait, that was 2015. I'm thinking
Yeah.
2018 for some reason.
Well, one of those. Well, the first story was from 2018, but 2015 was it
Yeah,
at the?
it, I think so. Let me think. I've been doing this, what, like 4 years now? 5? This is what, year 5, I think. So, oh, we were still my first
Yes,
cosplay was
yes,
at E.
we were at the Egan Center.
We were?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, then yes, that wasn't the year that I did that. That was actually 2018 I did that.
but still, it's like okay. That was not the smartest. But I just these are the stories of cosplay where the last minute crunch is never something you want to do, and in the end, it's usually you usually look at it and you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, because we're all procrastinators, we refuse to admit it. Those of us who have, we do our best to not procrastinate, but it kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, yeah, I have nothing to say other than I just try to drill it into other people's heads. I'm hoping the next generation of cosplayers will know better and not make the mistakes of my generation.
No, make new mistakes and then pass
Yeah,
those lessons on.
exactly. Just stop the trend of procrastinating, please. Con Crunch Night should not be a trend anymore.
But it is.
It is, alas.
It's almost a tradition by now. You will
Pretty much.
always have at least a handful. You will always have cosplayers who are on that time crunch.
Yeah, listen, at this point, me and my friends, we know that day one of con we're going to be dead on our feet. So like we have snacks prepped, we have breakfast prepped, and then we have like midnight stuff prepped, emergency Red Bulls and other energy drinks just in case.
Yep.
Like, and then we have generally there's always one of us who does not stay up late and just kind of gives up and it's like, okay, we're just gonna wake up early and try to do this. Which generally I try to do that. Doesn't always work because I'm not a morning person. I can stay up late, just don't get me. I can't get out of bed. Once I'm
No.
in bed, I'm not getting out.
Yeah. All right. But on to one more story, or at least another story. So this story is also from Lauren, and it was his first ever cosplay. It is how he got into cosplay, the very start of it. So Lauren had just returned from the military and was working at their cousin's game shop to earn some extra cash. The cousin had decided to throw a small party and hire a DJ. The DJ later turned out to be his good friend later down the line. During this time, the DJ friend and Lauren were talking a bit about anime, and it wasn't until a month later that the DJ called him and asked if he knew of the character Nappa from Dragon Ball Z. Now, loving that character and had nothing
Oh,
better to do.
typo, sorry.
Yeah, he tells him to watch Dragon Ball Z abridged to learn how to talk like him. So oh, so for
Probably
those of you,
clarify something.
yeah. So for those of you who've never watched Dragon Ball Z abridged, I highly recommend it. It is hilarious.
I've never watched it.
Okay, so you don't even need to watch any of like all of it. You can just watch bits and pieces, and it is basically Dragon Ball Z hilarity. They
Okay.
parody. They make fun of it, and it's
okay.
but it's also still like it fits, and it's good, and it's really good. But yeah.
Okay. Let me clarify the one part because I realized I guess never typed it out. I thought I typed it out, but I guess not. So when his DJ friend had asked him if he knew who Nappa was, he asked him also if he'd be interested in cosplaying Nappa, and doing a Dragon Ball Z group cosplay with him. So that's where we continue on to where that.
Okay, so while Lauren and Lauren wanting to learn how to talk like Nappa, as he works on the cosplay, he listens to Dragon Ball Z Abridged over and over to get it down. Now, to build the Nappa costume, he used cardboard and craft foam. And the DJ was telling him that if they got it done within the week, they could wear it to a cosplay event that was coming up. He worked on it about 6 to 8 hours a day, about 24 hours in total. That's a lot of time to put into it.
It is, but also if you ever cardboard is not as easily to work with if you're not used to working with it as people think, and also craft foam. Craft foam is also not as easy as people think to work with, especially for these specific types of things, like making. Because if you know Nappa, he wears armor, and that's what he's making out of this, and it's easy but hard at the same time. If you want good detailed stuff, especially something that big, I don't recommend craft foam and cardboard.
Yes, that would be one of the ones where practice on small things first before you move to the big things.
Also, his very first cosplay ever, so I totally understand why.
Yep.
But also for a first time armor cosplay, wasn't a bad choice, honestly. Nappa has probably one of the more simplistic designs for armor, so it kind of makes sense in the long run. And I applaud him for like how well it turned out for his very first time too.
Mm-hmm. Um. So, about so he did 24 hours in total, which actually, when you think about it, this is his very first cosplay. That's actually a very short amount of time. He basically did. He got it done fairly quickly.
About 3 to 4 days worth of work, which isn't too bad.
No, that's actually really good. um. So then he was going to do a play where I'm guessing he was doing one of kind of like those cosplays where you immerse yourself in the character and then act like the character.
Yeah, so I don't know specifically what was going on, but he was at, I think he said it was Cosplay Craze. This specific event was going on, which is where he did this cosplay. But there was something going on. He mentioned about being in an event of some sort there where he had to act like the character.
Okay. Which sounds like a lot of fun. And I know there are certain cosplayers out there who they're dressed as their character, so they have a lot of fun playing their character. Now, of course, being the very first time he's cosplay, he was very nervous, which is totally understandable. But he had a lot of fun, and he met some of his best friends there, which I guess yeah. So he met his best friends, and he met people who knew the character and said that he could do the voice really, really great. Which, if any of you have ever heard Lauren do Nappa, and if you've been to any of the cosplay chests, if you hear him do Nappa, he does a really, really, really good Nappa. Yes.
He does. Oh my gosh. It's actually one before like I actually met him officially was how people would point him out to me. They're just like, "Oh, you should go talk to Lauren about so and so." And I'm just like, "Who?" And they're just like, "The Nappa cosplayer. You see him every year. I'm like, that's
Yep.
how I knew him, was Nappa.
Yep.
Which actually, Casey has stated that he actually has a photo of Lauren, who Lauren's agreed to let us show it. So if Casey wants to show the photo,
Yep.
there
That's
he
Lauren
is.
as Nappa. But I'm guessing that is an updated version of the cosplay from this story.
I believe so. So Lauren did mention that after the cosplay event, he did go on to make another version, which was much better. He's definitely much more happier with it.
Yeah. Because I think I've seen it, and I think even the version I've seen is an updated version of this one.
Sure. Oh no, Casey says this is the one from Cosplay Craze.
Oh, well, hey.
Nice.
Either way.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yep.
Lauren has updated the costume in recent years. He's even added on to it. There was I know he did it for Senshi Con cosplay chess, I believe, where he
Yeah.
had it was like Napa fries or something like that, and so he made like a French fry wig with it. I don't remember where the joke came from, but I just know he did that, and I was just yeah.
I remember that because that was the very first cosplay chest I ever saw. And one of the scenes I walk into is him being Nappa with French fries.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, is this normal? And I remember I was sitting there, I was standing next to you, and I'm just looking over at you, going, "Is this normal? Is this normal?" And you're just holding like this dust ball or something. Some
Oh,
prop. It had rolled over to
yeah.
you, and you're just holding it, and I'm just like, "Okay, this is normal." They're
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no. So this event is how Lauren got to be known as Nappa, as the Nappa cosplayer, because it's his go-to cosplay, but it's also how he made a lot of friends, and not only that, it's how he met his fiance. Who yeah. So
Which they'll be
cosplay,
getting married soon, so
yes, they are.
I'm excited for them.
Yee. Happiness. Marriage is happening all over the place.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Which is funny because I actually met my fiance, who I'm actually getting married to soon myself, via cosplay as well. So you meet a surprising number of people through it. I
Mhm.
never would have expected to make as many friends as I have through the cosplay community. I've had some great opportunities too, getting into cosplay. So that's how I met you, Rebecca, and how we started this podcast.
Yes, was from cosplay. And yeah, no. And in a warped way, it's kind of what's gotten Senshi Con and a lot of animes a lot of attention, and it's helped it brings the community together because you see your favorite character or you see some really awesome costume and you get excited because there's your favorite character in
Mhm.
person in real world.
Yep. Yep.
And then you start talking and then you become friends.
Pretty much. I mean, that's oh geez. Yeah, that's how I've met like a lot of my best friends. My roommate to this day, we have been together what 3 years, almost 4. Um Literally they walked up to me during a cosplay event. Because we had a friend, a similar friend. We're both friends with one girl at the time, and she just decided to approach me, and she was just like, "Hey, do you want to do this cosplay with me?" And like I kind of knew who she was. I was kind of familiar with them, and I'm just like, why not? I've got nothing planned for SenshiCon this coming up year. Why not? And that is how our friendship started.
Nice.
And how I figured out what their personality was like was them playing the Krusty Krab song, I think it's called.
From SpongeBob?
Or there's a SpongeBob song, it's called like Mr. Krabs. I cannot for the life of me tell you what the title is. All I can tell you is we have a meetup just to kind of see like how we want to do cosplay and whatnot. They have music on in the background. The first song that plays on this playlist is the Mr. Crab song. And I'm only kind of listening because I'm trying to listen to them, but then I finally sit and just listen to the song for a second because it's quiet. And I just look at them and I'm just like, what is this? And that's how our friendship started. And we are still friends 3 years later, and they still play that song sometimes just to get at me, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. That's cosplay. And that's friendship.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean it's 100% friendship, but I'm just like, I still wonder why I agreed to do the cosplay with them because I had no idea like anything about the character or anything. It's just, but this cool person came up to me and asked to do a cosplay with me, so I was just like, why not?
Yep.
And it worked out because I got to get introduced to it's how I actually did get closer with like Carson, Lauren, and that group of people, and met so many more people because of that one decision on the fly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really have a I don't have a cosplay story. Most of my friendships with the group have been because of Senshi Con, which cosplay is a huge part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I do know, like, there are pictures of me one year, and I kind of remember this. This was way back 2006, I want to say. It was the second or third Senshi Con,
Mm-hmm.
and I dressed up in just a Halloween costume. I was kind of like a mage wizard thing. I had a big shiny cape and like a really long sweater with a little silver rope around my waist and a staff, which I remember had to be safety tagged, so they had to tie surveying tape around it.
Like
And
to
I
what?
just the you know that the tape that they tie around.
Yeah, I know the safety tape, but what do they tape it to?
Well, they didn't tape it. They tied it in a knot. It was surveyor tape. It's called surveyor tape, but it's that plasticky, stretchy stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't check them. What do they tie it to?
To my
I didn't
staff.
catch that.
I
Oh,
had a staff with me because I was dressed as a wizard.
yes.
But yeah, that's like the only time I remember cosplaying. I just wanted to wear the cape, honestly.
That's fair. That's fair. I did Witch Mercy one year just because I wanted to wear the hat. I just wanted the hat. All I wanted.
I
And
keep
I did it.
threatening. I keep threatening that one year, like I was when we had the mascot that hid the little witch's hat. I was like, I want to cosplay that witch hat. I just want her hat.
I know, right?
That hat looked so awesome.
Her entire outfit looked awesome. I just wanted to cosplay her. I was just like, please. I wasn't sure if we were allowed to or not, especially
Yeah,
being staff members. So I was just like, I don't know.
yeah. I think there was a lot of discussion. I remember because there were so many people who all looked at her and were like, "We just want to cosplay her.
Yep.
We do that. How?" And then I remember asking Alyssa, "How on earth do I make a witch hat?" Because you have to make the brim and the
Yep.
thing stand up, and it's like I don't know how to do this.
It's challenging. I'll say that. It's definitely it's oddly fun. I will say that. Um I definitely want to try making a witch hat again because honestly like making that thick brim, like that very big, it's so much fun. And there's something very satisfying about wearing a hat with a very wide brim like that.
Because
Especially when it's space.
I've seen cosplays with the wide brim
Mm-hmm.
on the hats, and it looks amazing.
Great. Ah, dang it, you're making me want to make a hat again. I
Well,
legit want to get like back into making hats because it's so much fun.
yes.
Maybe one day I'll do a video of me making just hats, just random hats. Who knows?
That would be fun. I maybe you could walk me through how to make one, and I can just sit there and go, "How? What am I doing? Deborah, help! Save me!
There
Deborah,
we go.
I have super glued my fingers together. What do I do?"
Oh, good luck. I still do that to myself. I still do that. All right, yeah, looks like we're hitting the end of our video here, and we're just rambling at this point about hats. So we do want to give y'all a heads up. This is going to be the last episode of our Cosplay Myths podcast. We're going to be taking a short hiatus to kind of figure out what else we want to do here, but we are going to continue doing podcast work, so don't worry, you won't miss us too long.
Yep. So, we are going to take a break for the month of August, and then hopefully be back sometime in September. You'll see some announcements about the time that we're getting ready to come back. But as to what we're going to do when we come back, we're not quite sure yet. We have a lot of ideas, but we are always looking for more ideas. So please feel free to drop us a line, either in the comments below or through Deborah's email, or you can reach out through SenshiCon social media pages and just let us know, hey, you didn't cover such and such in your cosplay, or maybe you should do this. Because we're looking for lots of ideas. We've had a lot of fun on these podcasts, but we've reached the end of our knowledge on cosplay, so we want to go have fun and do something else.
Listen, if you guys know, like, if you want us to do interviews with guests in the past that we've had, let us know down in the comments, please. We'll see if we can get a hold of them and get them to come. Because I mean, like, we got Keep a Cosplay Corgi on before, so maybe we can get her again. That would be great.
Yeah, get more stories of cosplaying with pets.
Yes. So she's just a delight to talk with also, so.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again. Be safe, be healthy, have fun, enjoy the last little bit of summer that we have. Hopefully we get some more sunny days.
Hopefully. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.